Alright, so this is Will, and now we're going to try to make some real good progress on this. Is going to be the third HMI video. I think we'll probably need this one more, but first thing we want to do is we want to start adding addresses. And first thing I want to do is, this is in Wonderware, and if I go into Help, there's this one thing that says Communication Drivers. Now all these are the drivers that you can have. We have the Modbus TCP. So if I pull this up, it gives me kind of like this interface control document that tells you exactly how you communicate with the equipment. Now, we have a bunch of it in the separate individual HMI videos, but I'm just going to repeat a couple things that are in there. When we're looking at coils, and we want to see a coil status, we need a prefix of 0x on it. When we're looking at integers, data words, we need a prefix of 4x. And when we go in to our, if we're looking at our PLC, we see, well, our HMI is like we need C19, C20, and C21 for the reset. Those are just memory addresses inside the PLC. What we need is we need Modbus addresses. We are using a Modbus interface. So if we go into our address picker, and this is a really convenient thing that the CLICK PLCs have, and it is great because without it, we'd be lost. Anyway, these are our inputs, and these are the inputs from the control panel over here. We aren't going to have any access to those, and we don't care about those in the Wonderware. Now, those are our X bits. Our Y bits, we do care about the motor up and the motor down, because we need to, you know, if we look at our Wonderware, we have in our simulation, and let me just save this. So this is going to be the motor up, and this is going to be the motor down. So we do need that information. So we are going to use those bits. So anyway, when we go in here and we look at this, there is this little thing, and let me pull it out. This says display the Modbus addresses. These are the addresses that we need. So motor up is going to be 8196. It is not Y004. It is 8196. And the other motor down is 8197. And I am writing these down because I'll need these. But when I put them in that table, it's going to be 0x colon 8196 and 8197. Now the ones I really need are the control relays, the internal memory bits, and I use a lot of these. You know, I only use 2 of the Y's, but I'm using a whole bunch of these. And we start process is 385. Now some of these are internal ones that I don't really need. I don't need the open door. The open door is just, you know, if we look at this, the open door is just this bit over here, and that is the one that it's basically the same as our open push button or the HMI open push button. We don't need that. The first one that we really need is the open limit switch. That tells us when we're all the way up or not. So I need 16390, and then I need the close limit switch, which is 16393. And then I'm going to need the fault reset, which is 397, the system fault 398, the fault inject bit 399. And then here, these are my HMI starts. These are the ones that are in parallel with the control push buttons. So HMI start is 403, stop is 404, reset is 405. And oh, and then the ones I need. Now these are the actual push buttons that make the garage door go up. For open is 407 and close is 408. So that is what I need. So if I go in my Wonderware and I go into my driver sheet in my table, and I start filling these out. Start is 0x16385. Now from here, for right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that one as, oh, and I want, well, that I have that at the wrong spot. Really, because that needs to be next to my start process. Well, what I'll do here is I'll just put that in all of these. So my HMI start, what do we say? My HMI start was actually 403. My stop was 404. And my reset was 405. My motor down, now this is the bit that is the 8197. This one is 8196. These are the actual Y bits that we showed first. Okay, now the door down is the same as the closed limit, which would make that 393. The door up is the open limit, and that is 390. The door ajar. I don't have that one. So let's go into our C bits again. And so door ajar is C17 for the Modbus. It is going to be 401. So if we go in here, so the door ajar is 401. And HMI open. These are the push buttons to make it go up. And we said that up was 407 and down was 408. Okay, start process is what we started with, that's okay. The fault inject was 399. The reset was 397, and the fault was 398. Okay, now to this I'm going to add a couple more. I want to add that simulator timer, and I want to go into my integers. Let's see what's going on here. Project. Let's see, bool is okay, but I want to go into my integers, and I don't show any integers. Oh, so I don't have any of the integers in here yet. So what I need is I'm going to put in my sim timer. And that doesn't exist. I'm going to have to create it, and that's going to be a integer. And I'm going to put in my sim counter. And then the last thing, and this will be an integer too. And the last thing I'm going to need is my cycle counter. And I'll call it door cycle counter. And that is going to be an integer also. So now this one, I'm going to have to copy it here and paste it down here. Now these have some oddball addresses. So let's go back into here. And so my timer is going to be, my simulation timer is T1. Now T1 isn't what I want. It is timer 1, but what I want is I want its running value, which means it's TD1. And so this TD1, that has a number of 445057. What I need to put in there, because that'll have that prefix 4x, so it'll be 4x 45057. Now I'm also going to go right here to my counters, and my first counter, which is the simulator timer, is 49, so it's 4x colon 49055 or 053, and the other one will be 49153. The cycle counter will be 49155. So in here I said that was 4x colon 45057, and I'm going to just copy that and paste it down here. And the first one for the simulator counter was 49153, and the second one would be 49155. Okay, and that should be all my addresses. So, well, it should be if I put them in correctly, which that's another question. But I'm going to save them. And now what we want to do is we want to go in here, and don't know what's in my PLC right now, but I had to add, well, we haven't really put in anything in the PLC since we added these start and stop. So we're going to go in, and we're going to write project into here. And that's okay. And run. And we're okay. Now the red light went on, so we are in this mode. Now one of the things I wanted to do is I added onto here, see, I want to add some text, so let me put this in here. I'm going to put in my text, and right here I'm going to say this is my sim timer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a colon, a space, and this is the timer that counts in up to 1 mil. Well, it counts 10 per second, so it counts 0 to 100. So I need to put 3 asterisks or pound signs there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to give it a data text link. And now what I want to do is I want to go into its properties, and for data text link I want to add the expression that I put in there for the sim timer. Okay, so now really this thing has 2 attributes. It's linked to a data, and then there's also one that's just for the text itself. So we're good there. Now I'm going to copy him, and I'm going to make him my link to my counter. And what I'm going to use this for is just so that when I'm up and running, I want to see those things count, and I want to see them time. And they're not going to be real time, but they'll let me know that the system is working. And so when we're going up, it should count from, this counter should count from 0 to 120. And that should be it for now. So let's go into the run mode. And now we're off, and nothing's happening. And somehow, well, this is wrong because I don't have a number here. And my door jar is wrong too. So I wonder if I have a link to this one. Door cycle count. Okay, door cycle counter is what I want. Okay, and I also noticed that my door ajar was blinking, and I don't have that tied to a tag either. So I'm going to go into my booleans, and this is door ajar. So let's try this again. So I'll go into run. And I'm off. These are off. So what this is saying, it's all the way down. My door is down. And this is what this is saying, door closed. So when I hit my start PB, this light will go on. Still nothing is happening until I hit the open or close push buttons. So let me just start it up. And it went green. So that's good. Now, as soon as I hit open, it's going to start counting up. I should see that counter, like the timer just runs, it's counting 10 times a second, so it's counting 0 to 100, and it's just repeating it over and over. Now, it again is going to be really fast, but what I really want to see is this 0 to 120. And so as soon as it starts going up, this light goes out, that motor goes on, which says the motor up is going on. So let's see. So yeah. That went out, that turned on, and the door closed went out. So as soon as it gets up to 120, this will go on, this will go off, and that will go on. Okay, so that's correct. So now I'm going to close it, and now this motor, the down motor, is on. Now I really wanted to simulate this thing going up and down for my garage door. That's part of the simulation. So that closed. Now we also got our cycle count, and we don't have any words here. We got to add that. But let's run through one more up and down cycle, and we're kind of running a little long, but we can put in those couple of things and see what it looks like. And I want to make sure that this is correct. So okay, so door is open, and now we'll close it. So now we need to add the simulation that'll really make this door look like it's going up and down. And what I want is, so as it counts from 0 to 120, I want it to go up to, you know, about this point. And there we count it to 2. So let's go out. And here, I'm going to just highlight this whole thing, this big rectangle for my door. And I want to be in graphics, and I'm going into this visibility position thing here. And if I go into properties, so there are these, we can add a tag to this. And what I'm going to add is I'm going to add that counter tag to it. So I need to be in my integers, and I want this counter. Now I want it to go up and down. Now that really, it doesn't count from 0 to 100, it counts from 0 to 120. Now also, up in the upper corner on each screen is where 0, 0 is. So down here, and as it's counting from 0, that's what's shown here. So as I want it to go up, I want this to be a negative number. So the range is still counting from 0 to 120, but it's going from what's shown here. I want it to go in the negative direction. And I've got no idea what the number should be. So I'm going to put in 600. And what else do we say we want to do? We want to change, we want to put in some words that would say this is our door cycle counter. And that's okay, and it's maybe, it's about right size. So let's just go into the run mode and see what this looks like. So we should be just ready to go. System's still on, and all we have to do is hit open, and this should start going up. So let's take a look. So it is going up. And ideally, well, we're at about 60, so that number is, we said 600, that number is too big. So it was like a little before 100. We want it, and here's where you can take a whole lot of time with trial and error. We'd like it just to show the very tip of it. You know, we have it disappearing behind this blank filler we have here. But let's see it close. So it still hasn't reappeared. So now it does. So we need to, if it's at 600, we need to, let's see, let's go in here and let's change that to minus like 480 maybe. And let's run it again. And I think we'll just see what this looks like, and we're going to have to stop here. But it looks pretty good. You know, we haven't checked out the fault injection to see if we've got an alarm, but we want to do another visual with that, so we're going to have another one. So right now, we're still a little too high. So, but we're a lot closer, because if you watch it, it'll reappear a lot sooner. So there, it starts reappearing after just a couple seconds. So it's at 480. I think we can get away with maybe 440, and that might do the trick. But well, I'm just going to change this to 440 and just leave it at that. And next time out, we'll take a look at what we have, and it's still counting cycles, which is good. I had some question on whether that was even going to work, but we'll take a look at this fault injection, the fault reset. We'll try to clean this up. Now, when we're in here, that was just to make sure that things were working, and that because right now I can't get to my PLC code, so I can't see what's going on. These things are invaluable when you're trying to see what's going on behind the scenes, because we have no visibility to the PLC code. But you can put any signal in here and it'll give you visibility. So next time out, we'll do a couple things with this to check out the fault injection. Hopefully this will be okay. And then we'll try to pretty up the screen just a little bit. So that's it for this little video, and we'll see you next time. And I'm pretty sure next time will be the last video for the HMI, and however it ends up, that's our best and final. So we'll see you next time.